Hey, it's Van Velding. I'm not the guy people usually go to for game advice, but I've seen everyone on my Twitter and my Tumblr and even a little bit on Reddit given their top 10 games of 2016, and like a lot, like it's you expect certain people to have a top 10 games of 2016 or however many games, but like a lot of people who have no business making that list. So I thought before it becomes a meme, and while it's still slightly original, I'm going to go ahead and just give my top 10 games for 2016. No one ever asked, but I never asked these people. So the first one's going to be, it's going to be Stellaris. I like Civ. Stellaris is Civ in space, with more lasers, more pew pews. It's a really good game. I played it with the guys. I do not know if it came out in 2016. I played it sometime in the past year, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Um, I am still playing it a little bit. The game I have, which will probably be my last game, is the one where I made a mod where you could settle everything, and eventually you reach the mid game where all the borders are kind of set, and you can maybe take six planets in a war every 10 years, which is hard. But then when you do that and you can settle every planet, by the time I do the wheel, I don't know how other people do this. I don't talk to other Stellaris players, but you basically attack everyone on your border, and by the time you make the circle, 10 years have passed and you can attack the first guy again. It's fantastic. But the deal is, if you can colonize everything, they have colonized more than the 5 or 6 worlds you can take since the last time you attacked them. So everything sort of just digs its roots in too deep for you to have an effective war, which kind of sucks because diplomacy is garbage in Stellaris. It's like punching sand. So, haven't played it in a while. There are some issues. Great game. Uh, in the top in my top 10 of the year. Okay, first off is going to be Star Realms. Now, we play Star Realms a lot. It's a good game. We played on computer with the guys. I don't know if it came out this year. I don't think the physical copy came out this year because we do get the before we ever played the electronic version. We had the physical copy, and it's a good game. It's really simple. It's not like super evocative. All right, it doesn't really hit that Vorthosian itch that you might expect, but it's good. It's quick. It's easy to learn. It's a really straightforward game, and I really can't say enough. It's really addictive in a strange way. I don't know, but the electronic copy is free to play against the computer. They have a little campaign, which is honestly more than a Star Realms game needs. I would recommend checking it out. Again, it's free on Steam. It's a little more to do multiplayer. This has to get you. I mean, yeah, the guys got to make the money. Uh, the physical version is good. I'm going to brag for a second and say we do not have all of the expansions because though we have the money for the expansions, there's a point of diminishing returns. Just get a good set, guys, and then just play. You don't need to constantly be buying things. Next, I got Minecraft. You know I love Minecraft. I make Minecraft videos. I still work in Minecraft. I have my own realm, which is with adults because working with children is terrible. Um, it's nice to have a server where you can relax and not have to child-proof everything. It's fun. Builds a lot of stuff. Built a lot of bases. I do iterative designs that are self-contained entirely for survival worlds. Um, if you gave a crap, you'd be watching my channel. So I mean, it's I'm not guilting you into it. I'm just saying I'm going to stop talking about Minecraft now. What else we got? Oh, this one I missed show earlier. That is going to be Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering, which is just an amazing game. These guys keep doing just great work. They just came out with Kaladesh. Aether Revolt's coming out in a couple days. This is not it's not a sponsored thing like to coincide with my Wizards is too smart to pay me money to promote their things is what I'm saying basically. But they keep having interesting fun sets, interesting fun worlds. They release fiction online that you can read totally for free. It's called Magic Fiction on the Wizards site. It's good. Even people who hate it say it's getting better. Sometimes people in those stories have feelings, and I can only imagine that emotionally stunted troglodytes hate that because they can't relate to positive feelings towards other humans. But those people are awful, and I don't play Magic with them. Magic the Gathering. I've been playing a little more this year. I'm playing a little bit of Commander / Elder Dragon Highlander. I have a nice Zedru deck. Not a lot of win conditions, but everyone has fun when I play, and that is my goal. We go next. Oh, 1 second here. Ooh. There we go. This is Pokemon. My niece, she just turned 6. She saw other kids playing this, so she wanted to play Pokemon. I got her a deck for her birthday. Obviously, got me a deck so she would have someone to play with. I think she's. It says 6, but I think she's still too young for it. She likes playing Pikachu, and she likes upgrading Pikachu to Raichu. She likes attacking. She doesn't like losing, and that's my fault, honestly, because you don't always need to let kids win, but it's generally kind of good to let them win. And I am always pimping for board games and card games, so I try to be really good about making sure that people win in their first game. And I screwed up here, and I let it come down to a coin flip, which is a surprisingly big part of Pokemon. And she lost, and we haven't played since. I do hope that I'm going to get to play more in 2017, because she enjoyed 98% of the game. It was the last 2% that did not go well. What's next? Oh yeah, this guy. Alright, so what we got here is a big game. It's called Hooter. It's a board game. This game is really great. I got it this year. I have played it once, admittedly. The deal is, this thing is like 2 games. It is kind of a resource sneaky. One guy divvies up the money, everybody takes it out. People try to quietly kill each other. Kind of bluffing, sneaking game. The other half of it is as like a tabletop strategy fighting game. Again, both halves are really good. This thing is kind of expensive. It's big and it's bulky. It says it says 2 to 7 players. I honestly think we played it with 3 people and it was a stretch. So I would honestly say 4 people or more is good for Junta. But again, it is an investment, and I'm not 100% sure if the game in this mode is worth it. It's good. It's really good and enjoyable. I cannot emphasize enough the quality of this game. I think a slimmed down version would be in order. I think like you should cut it in half and get half as much Junta, and that would be great. Let me see here. There we go. And this little guy right here is called Epic. Now this is Magic the Gathering, basically. There's no lands in it. There's creatures and there's do stuff. There's no expansions for it that I know of. I checked briefly. There were no expansions. So you just do this. Bing, bang, boom. There's no mana ramping. There's no. There might be a counter spell. I don't know, but like there aren't any of your typical Magic archetypes. You play creatures. Some of them synergize with themselves. There's like 4. I don't know if you can see it. There's like 4 different colors to it. My hands shake too much to appropriately show that to you. So you can just shuffle them all together, deal them out at random, or like do like a weird mini draft, or just make a deck specific to each color. It's very versatile. It's not evocative at all. It's just like, I am angel, I will fight robot, because there are angels and robots in here, and it's not even like fun. Because when it's fun, it feels like those sort of incongruities, or should I say, that kind of evidence about a blatant lack of fucks given by the makers of this game, White Wizard Games, who sound like White Wolf, and made a game like Magic. And I know one of their other games is a knockoff of Star Realms. So right now you're thinking, these guys are just copycats who are just trying to make people think there's something that they're not. And that might be true, but they did also make Star Realms, which is a damn fine game. So cut them some. This is sort of my slack that I'm cutting them. Right. So this is boring. You don't. If you want to play Magic and you're just like, I'll just spend $15 and be done with it. It's Epic. Epic is your game. This is Magic the Gathering for accountants. Yeah. And Magic the Gathering for accountants, basically. But it's fine. It's serviceable. It's fine. What's next? What's next on my list here? Right. Right. Dead Parents Dungeon. Dead Parents Dungeon. This is a game I'm currently working on. It's in development. Basically, your adventures, you go into a dungeon, there's some prototype cards. I'm still making up the stuff for it. Rules are written. Parents go into a dungeon. Some of them die, hence the name. The ones that come out, they get scars and silver. They have babies. They grow up to go into the dungeon until they die, or until they get enough scars and silver and equipment and levels to just retire and do the thing that they always wanted to do. Um, and so each retirement comes with its own set of points. Once you get more than 10 points, boom, you've won the game by basically living long enough to retire quietly to the sort of life you always envisioned. Um, I think it's a fun game. If you follow me, you've probably heard of it before. Again, it's one of my best games. It's just above. I almost forgot about this one. Twilight Squabble. It's just above Twilight Squabble. So the deal with Twilight Squabble is a very small, very simple, very straightforward, very linear game about the Cold War. It is. I've been nothing but impressed with this, to be honest with you. Again, there's little counters, a couple cards. There's nothing to it, but it is an intensive two-player game of bluffing and anticipation and move and counter move that is set to simulate the Cold War. It is so much value and it is so much quality for such a tiny box and such a tiny price point. Always two players, you can't really expand it. You're kind of always playing the same game, but it's a damn fine game. It feels like Cold War politics, and it's a challenging game. In addition to having like a challenging system, it is also a social game in that respect. Like I think it's Who's the Werewolf, or Who's the Traitor, or the kind of social games where you have to lie and kind of figure out, who's what and what's who. Twilight Squabble, it has those elements, in addition to having gameplay that you learn tactics for. I can't say enough nice things about this. This is the best game to have a picture of Ronald Reagan on the front. Is the best game, best Ronald Reagan game. What do we got next? Yes. So what I mean to talk about is this quarter. This quarter is one of my top 10 games of 2016. You got two strategies: heads, tails. There is kind of like a what do they call it? A rogue deck in Magic. You can call Edge. No one ever does that. And heads or tails. There's a couple different variants. There's flip and catch. There's flip and catch. Bam, flip, like the final flip. And then there's NFL style, which is what they play in the pros, where you just flip the coin, you let it land in the grass. That requires a huge stadium. People are big fans of it. I was surprised to learn about this. You get thousands of people in a stadium to watch a coin flip. The traffic afterwards is so bad at most stadiums, people cannot leave literally for hours. For hours they're just in the stadiums. They just scream for hours. People get intense. It's like road rage but on foot. Over a quarter. It's a good game though. We play it here at the house all the time. It's just a great way to pass a couple hours. Finally, I've been putting it off, and I think it's been obvious. This glass is my number one game of 2016. How it works, if you're not familiar with it, I'm pretty sure you are. I mean, most adults kind of are. Is you put vodka in this, any level, only vodka, and just whatever works for your difficulty setting, and then you add your mixture of choice. My play style is Diet Coke, so some people like orange juice, some people just like regular Coke. I think that's filthy and disgusting. I tried a water metagame once. That was terrible, and the gameplay's a little linear, I admit. I'm usually satisfied by the end of it, though. I'll be honest with you. Usually, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not really feeling the flow, and I don't really feel like the difficulty curve and the flow and the play counterplay. But by the time I get to the end, I'm really satisfied, like every time. I can play two or three of these a night. Honestly, I haven't played since the new year, but it's a fantastic game. It is obviously, depending on your regionality, ages 21 and up. I know some people play this competitively. That is a no-go. This is a casual game that you play just to have a good time with friends. Like any game, it's not necessary to have a good time. It does sometimes help. Um, Number one game of the year. This glass right here. And finally, this is Treasure Lair. This is a terrible piece of shit. It's boring as fuck. It's not. The gameplay is uncompelling. Um, I bought this because I thought it would be good research for Dead Parents Dungeon because it says Treasure Lair, which is sort of like saying stuff in dungeon, and then it looks like you have people who go in and fight cool things, and it's a shapes and color matching game. So you think, oh, I'm going to go to a dungeon-like place, going to have treasure of some kind here, and you can be these people. No, it's a color and shapes matching game. You can be thief, or ranger, or sorcerer. These are the characters you can choose from in this game, with no strategy and no hidden information. Match the shapes and colors. Win. That is this game. This is so bad that it propelled Epic into my top 10 because Epic is bad. It's a bad game. It's not good, and this is so bad it made that good because it's that bad. Um, it sucks. So anyway, that's my top 10 games of 2016, and then a really bad game of 2016. So I hope this has been edifying. I would hope that if you feel like I'm a person that you should go to in a year's time and ask about the best games of 2017, I would be that guy. Um, Perhaps you've learned more about 2016 and how 2016 is. Perhaps you've seen some games that you would like to purchase for yourself or your own home. I don't know. Bye. It is disappointing. It's not evocative. It says it's for ages 14 and up. That is completely untrue because this is a color and shapes matching game for children. And the simplistic names, lack of adult themes, lack of any real violence or challenge makes this a game that's ideal for kids. It can help kids learn how to read, how to identify colors, how to identify horses and ropes. It can teach them sequential ordering of games. It can teach them basic accounting. This is such a simple game. It should basically be a children's game for kids. It's not for some reason, and I don't know why it's not. Maybe this was stolen from a child's game, which is very good. I do not know. This game constantly mystifies and baffles me. Not on an intellectually challenging level, but on the level where I don't know why it exists, and I seriously regret paying $25 for it. The art of this game is good, but it is otherwise irredeemable and takes a good play concept and turns it into garbage execution that's, again, very pretty. But it's bad. It's so bad. It's mega bad. No. No. Bad.